Interesting matchup too. Corrin is one of those characters who has these tools that cover a lot of distance, but in general aren't really the quickest. So the big thing that he's going to look for is trying to find his points to use that Dragon Lunge in particular.
I know Light the Lantern is really good about his neutrals. He has been able to combo a lot of people into kill percent and off stage. So curious if he will still be able to do that this match. Villager, not the funnest of matchups to play.
Yeah, it's when you talk about a patient, more reactionary style, in general, most Villager players choose to play in that particular way, with Renai being the obvious exception. And with that in mind, this is Light's game plan, is being in this zone where he makes it so that Magister is really worried to actually commit to a projectile, but also in an area where Light has no problems pulling the trigger on a neutral air or on a Dragon Lunge.
And because of how many tools Villager can use to get back to ledge, it's kind of, I mean, if the Corrin can get around all those, then he has a pretty nice opportunity to get a ledge punish. But as we see, having Villager kind of main on stage, putting out a lot of problems.
Relatively close game. Wow, that was great adaptation from Magister. He saw the counter as an answer to the projectiles, and he just stayed outside of the range of the counter and ends up getting a great grab because of it. Bit of a pity he didn't get the KO, though. I feel like in those particular moments, when you show that you have the download, you always want to cash that out with a stock, you know? One of those big swing turns from a big tempo standpoint. Oh, and speaking of swing,
clean.
That's why you don't grab the ledge twice, ladies and gentlemen. And just great patience from Light there also. I feel like when a lot of players play Villager, they get a bit antsy.
Especially when a Villager starts to have this the damage lead, they kind of just start running in, throwing out a lot of moves that they wouldn't.
It's just, you have to have that mentality where it's like, well, you have to come down at some point. Magister, man, he got through the counter that time, but ends up falling victim to the grabs. And Light just does not care. He's saying if you're going to do it at this particular range, you're always going to see the counter coming through. And Magister, now with the counterplay, using a quicker option to deal with the potential the potential jabs.
Villager is at a lot of damage, and I do like to call him Villager just because.
I don't think you should do that, man.
I might upset it. Light the Lantern taking first game with only 34 damage.
Yeah, Bill, and I think that it was maybe playing too much into the counter game, right? I liked what he was doing at the beginning, where he was completely out of range, was able to net the grab afterwards, but just near the end there, it got a little bit dicey. He tried to play a bit more up close and personal, and he'd win sometimes. But most of the time, the exchanges, they felt like they went in Light's ways. And with that counter being as strong as it is, it's something that you really don't want to mess with.
We'll be doing the same matchup, but on Battlefield. Thinking that maybe Villager has learned a little bit, downloaded some of Light the Lantern, and will be doing a lot better play. Still a great player. Still want to watch him play. But so far, I'm just thinking Light the Lantern so far just winning this.
Yeah, Light's doing a pretty good job, but you're seeing Magister start to turn things around a bit. I like that offstage play, getting in those slingshots, getting the damage, just trying to push Light away. And that's the thing, is Light right now just has everything going in his way. He has all the momentum. He's winning a lot of these conversions. You see Magister have these moments where he's getting the pot shots, and that's kind of what Villager's archetype presents to him. But he's not doing anything really to do with a lot of these big tempo plays that are coming out from Light. Magister, ooh. Again, just forced off stage, and you have to commend Light here on, again, the patience that he's exhibiting with this particular matchup. He's not getting antsy. He's just trying to wait things out a bit and trying to force Magister to make a bad landing.
And as soon as when that happened, Light the Lantern, it has shown that he is able to
Ooh.
get. Ooh.
Magister, a great opportunity here. Another back air. It's staler than last time. Oh. And Light just adapted by trying to go low. Magister tried to get the spike, It didn't work out then, but at the end, we see Magister just close things out. Chop, chop, baby.
The important thing is that Light doesn't start playing too offensive here like we talked about. As soon as when the Villager, my bad, has the lead, a lot of people start to play a lot more offensively than they should, and Villager sometimes can capitalize on that.
Yeah, it's again, being such a reactive sort of toolkit, if you're playing into that game plan, then that's when Villager really starts to shine. Of course, that being said, I think with modern Villagers and with players like Renai, and even some of the adaptations we've seen from folks like MJG, where you're seeing this different style, right? Going from the wall to more of like the trash compactor from Star Wars, where they're putting the pressure, they're constantly approaching. Magister holding on to the lead. And this is when it gets a little bit tricky. Never mind.
Ooh.
Not tricky. Just push the button. It's one of the best buttons in the game. Just push the button, buddy.
I think Light the Lantern really just has stage control. I mean, whenever he throws him off, it's kind of Villager's kind of playing into his game. But as we see, Villager is now starting to rack up some damage on Corrin.
And it's actually a bit of a rock and a hard place moment, because you see Light dancing around in this particular zone of effect, throwing out these dragon lunges. I think Magister is instinctively shielding to prevent the damage from happening. And in those particular moments, you're seeing Light get some of these grabs, and even though they don't do as much knockback, he's able to string them together and get really good control for those particular moments as a result.
A good retreat. Didn't try to force it. Ooh, getting close.
Magister, he has a lead right now, but he has to be, again, so mindful of that counter, as strong as it is. Back air comes out. Light, horrendous DI there, but still going to have the wings to make it back. And now maybe going off stage as well. Oh, that was such a surprise option.
This is getting very close to the wire for both players.
Just gets the release. And this is where Light needs the patience more than anything else, are in these particular moments.
I agree.
If he slips up here, could very well cost him the game. Light finds the final hit and ends up finding himself in winners finals. So looking a bit like a Shockwave right now, actually. Denty and Light, some very well-known names in those particular parts for the folks who watch that tournament series. And they're going to be in winners finals, just duking it out momentarily. I think we're going to be dropping down to the loser side of our bracket, where we have Frankward getting ready to go up against Aerolink. And that's going to be setting up Mu Squared against Magister coming up as well.
I think those those very well could go either way. Denty is in the winner's side, so whoever makes it to losers will have to play him. I do know Frankward does want to play him again.
Yeah, and that's, of course, assuming that Denty actually gets past